The MCU has had its ups and downs over the last decade and a half, so Oso and I are celebrating the upcoming new age of the MCU by looking back at some of their worst takes. We've each picked 5 movies that we dislike the most, and we're gonna rank them from least to most disliked. So without further ado, go ahead and kick us off, Oso.
I got some pretty good ones on my list. Let's just keep in mind these are my opinions. This is what I feel like how I would rank the movies. So on my 5th one, I got Spider-Man Far From Home.
Ooh, okay.
Some people might be mad about that. I don't know. But for me, I didn't really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man until No Way Home. To be honest, I was okay with his first movie, but Spider-Man Far From Home, I just didn't enjoy just because it felt just out of place. He was in Europe. It just didn't feel like a Spider-Man movie. And it was a little bit boring as well.
It felt really weird because it was the transition between Peter becoming a member of the Avengers, right?
I say that's why I didn't like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because for me, Spider-Man, I always enjoy the street level Spider-Man comic books. And Tom Holland's Spider-Man just hasn't been doing that. Maybe in this next one, Brand New Day Spider-Man, it looks like it's going to be pretty good. Street level Spider-Man, which is what we've all been waiting for. But his second movie, Far From Home, I wouldn't say it's a Spider-Man movie.
I kind of felt that a little bit too, for sure. I feel like a lot of the time, he was kind of like more reliant on the Avengers during that than anything. I don't remember the movie a whole lot, but I do remember many scenes where he was just like trying to rely on like Happy or trying to rely on Nick Fury. To me, that kind of like drove it down a lot. And I do agree that because they were out of New York, it didn't really give it like that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man vibe.
Yeah, another thing I don't like about Tom Holland's Spider-Man is his MJ. That might be controversial, but I'm happy in the third movie that she doesn't know who he is, so she's not gonna be a big part of the movie, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, his version of MJ is just terrible.
No offense to like Zendaya. It was mostly just like the mischaracterization for me when it came to MJ. I feel like she was just kind of like a sarcastic bitch the whole time. And she is a bitch in the comics, but just the way that they wrote her out, she just was so snotty and like just not likable at all in any of the movies, in my opinion. I will say though, there is one really good scene in that movie. It was that scene where Mysterio starts to really mess with Peter and in that Phantom Zone-esque area where there's like a bunch of him and they're all jumping on him. Some really good CG work, some of the best in Marvel in my opinion. But ultimately, I agree, man. That movie it's pretty forgettable. It didn't really stick with me. Jake Gyllenhaal, I thought he played a pretty decent Mysterio with what he was given.
I think Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio is probably the best thing about the movie, just because he's a good actor.
Yeah.
And like you said, the best part about the movie is when he was in the Phantom Zone. That came straight out of the comics, I felt like.
Yeah.
The way he was messing with Spider-Man and then how he got hit by the train. It kind of jump scared you a little bit.
That part was really good. But that's like the only part I can remember from the whole movie, I'm going to be honest with you. So for my number 5, I went with Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania. I don't think that one's really that controversial. I think most people kind of dislike that movie. But what really did it for me was not only did it feel completely pointless after they scrapped Kang's storyline, but also Kang should never have been defeated by Ant-Man. I feel like that was just super lame. The CGI was just horrible. I mean, let's be honest. Do you remember what MODOK looked like in that?
MODOK was probably the worst thing about the movie.
It was just sad. It looked so goofy. I felt like another problem with it is it did lean like really heavily into comedy again. This is kind of a reoccurring issue in Marvel for me. It's just like the never-ending dive into comedy. It didn't really feel like a very high-stakes movie to me either. Just like overall, it tried to be like an Avengers level threat movie, and it was just such wasted potential for Kang.
Yeah, I would have to agree, especially with Kang the Conqueror. They're trying to make him the big bad, like the next Thanos. And in that movie, they just made him look weak. Like he was easy to beat.
Yeah.
Like you said, Ant-Man, he shouldn't have defeated him like that, like so easily.
Exactly. It just felt ridiculous.
So for my 4th one on the list, this one, a lot of people actually like this one. But to me, it was just horrible. Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
No.
Yes, I know.
No.
I had so much hype for it because of the first Guardians of the Galaxy was perfect. Like, right amount of humor, right amount of action and seriousness. And then you go to this one, and like you said, what's ruining the Marvel movies is they're putting way too much humor into the movies. And it starts to become cringy.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt with the singing. The singing, to me, was just it ruined the movie.
You know, I don't think it's a great MCU movie. I don't even think it's a great Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but I don't think it's so bad that it deserves to be on the list personally. I can see why people don't like it though. They did mess up a lot of things. Like, I think it was like Ego's dynamic between him and Star-Lord was like completely just butchered. It's not always possible to write certain stories into live action. And given from what we've heard about from James Gunn in the Guardians of the Galaxy, they were pretty limiting on his creative freedom. So that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I'll give you the rest of the criticisms though. It did lean heavier into the comedy side of things. However, what did you think about the third Guardians of the Galaxy? Because to me, that kind of corrected course a little bit.
Yeah, I think he redeemed himself with that one. That was actually probably I would say top 5, top 10 Marvel movies right there. Especially with the backstory of Rocket. That scene where he kills his friends in front of him. Yeah, that was pretty messed up.
That part, yeah, no, dude, I love otters, and so that movie fucking like traumatized me.
It's because you weren't expecting it, and I think that's what makes Marvel movies good. Was because some of these they take drastic measures like that, and it really tugs on your heart, and that's what makes a good Marvel movie. Especially in the first 5 to 10 years of Marvel, they did pretty good with that.
The stakes were like really high in that movie, and they really did double down with the writing on Guardians 3. But I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. I don't think 2 is bad enough to hit a top 5 list. I don't think anything in here that I have is going to be contradictory to your opinions though, because we've kind of talked about these a little bit before together. But for my number 4, I picked Doctor Strange 2 in the multiverse. It's Multiverse of Madness, right? Or something like that.
It was that. Yeah.
Okay, exactly. Can't even remember the title. I don't think it was like a horrible movie, but like just nothing landed for me. And a lot of it just felt like they were trying so hard to do shock factor. I've never been a fan of Sam Raimi's like horror stuff. It's never worked for me. I don't think he writes horror well.
Yeah, the worst part about Multiverse of Madness was how they treated the Illuminati. That was like the worst part about the movie, like how fast Wanda killed every single one of them, especially Professor X and Mr. Fantastic. That was just terrible.
I feel like my hate is justified just because we got John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and they killed him 5 minutes later. Like, we all wanted that, and they put it in our face and they were like, just kidding, f you. You're not getting that.
Yeah, they didn't give my boy a chance. I still, to this day, I think he would have been a better Mr. Fantastic than Pedro Pascal.
Oh, easily, yes, yeah. Pedro Pascal feels so out of place as Mr. Fantastic. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't work for me.
I feel like he's trying too hard.
Definitely, yeah. And then he kept the mustache too. Like, this is disrespectful. I guess like what did it for me though was the way that it was marketed. They tried to make it seem like it was going to be really pivotal and important to like the multiverse as a whole, when really it kind of didn't do anything. It just pussyfooted around the idea that a multiverse exists, and that's pretty much all it did for the MCU. It didn't do anything else. We didn't see anything important happen that changed like the main line, did we?
No, not really. The end credit scene for that movie just threw me off too.
Yeah. I forgot about that. That was so bad, dude.
Yeah, the end credit scene was like, what are they gonna do with it? They haven't done with it, anything with it yet.
Exactly. It just like felt like it was sidelined.
Those are some good points. I would have to agree with you there. It wasn't that great of a movie. But moving on to my number 3 pick, this one also will probably be controversial to a lot of people. But I had Captain America: Brave New World.
Dude, I have yet to see that one. I do know that it's weird. I've heard some of the criticisms about it. I haven't felt obligated to go watch it for any reason. But no, go ahead with your criticisms. I want to hear what you think about it.
The reason why I have it on here was because I love Captain America. And there is no hype around this movie.
No, there
is no story. The main villain, they had to redesign him. And the way they redesigned him was terrible compared to his first concept. His first concept art was straight out of the comic books, and then they redesigned him to have like this brain-shaped forehead. It just looked terrible. It looked like spaghetti on his forehead. In the third act too, they just throw away the main antagonist. Like, he failed at what he was supposed to be doing, and he just sat there and cried and like a little baby, pretty much.
If you can't write a compelling story where the antagonist feels like they matter and they actually are a threat, they're not memorable. It just ruins the whole point of writing a movie.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Like, it was one of those forgettable movies. My biggest thing that I have about the movie is when he fights Red Hulk. How the hell are you gonna sit there and tell me that Captain America, caught a full-fledged iron pole that was thrown by the Red Hulk and brush it off like it was nothing? Okay, comic books in general are fake, obviously. Like, anything could happen, but you gotta have some realistic features. Like, we're talking about a normal guy catching a flagpole from the Red Hulk that should have killed him.
It's just like not consistent either. Just take the clip, for instance, where Hulk is throwing Loki around like a doll. If Hulks in this universe are supposed to be that powerful and he throws a pole at a guy, because Sam Wilson doesn't even have the serum at all, right? He's just normal, just a regular guy.
Yeah, he got no serum, just regular guy that got the Captain America passed on to him.
Okay, exactly. So it's just like super inconsistent to the original idea of Hulk that exists in the MCU anyway.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with his skin color or anything. It's just, you can make a badass character out of Sam Wilson, and they just did not do that with this movie. Especially when they did the TV show of Winter Soldier and Captain America, how he didn't even want to become Captain America because it was too much responsibility. Like, the story leading up to that was just terrible.
One of the weird parts about it for me was that they casted an 83-year-old man, Harrison Ford, as a character as important as Red Hulk to the Marvel Universe. Like, this guy could kill over tomorrow, and then we just don't have a Red Hulk anymore.
They did Red Hulk dirty in this movie. Like, they switched from one antagonist to the next, and they didn't give enough time and story development for the Red Hulk to be in this movie. They put him in just to sell tickets, I felt like.
I don't know if I need to put that one on my watch list, man. What do you think? I mean, it's almost essential that I should, I feel like, but...
It wasn't terrible, but it definitely was not the best Captain America. Like, there were so many flaws to the movie.
I went for my number 3, Thor: The Dark World.
Ooh.
This movie was so fucking boring. There wasn't any stakes. It was such a forgettable, boring antagonist. The aesthetic wasn't good. Trust me, I like dark fantasy. It's like my main thing, dude. I mean, literally. And I didn't like where they went with it. It felt so boring and grim and dark, and like it was just like too far, too over the edge. I know that it was like really important because that one introduced, was it the Soul Stone? And they put it in Jane Foster or whatever, and it was like in her blood, or maybe they took it out.
I would have to look that up. I'll be honest with you. Is it the Soul Stone?
Exactly. Which stone is in Jane Foster's blood in Thor 2? The Reality Stone.
Yeah, reality. Okay.
Yeah. I get that it was like important to the bigger MCU picture, but like if I were to go back and do a marathon of all the MCU movies, I'm just skipping it. It's not good. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. It's not interesting. It's just bland, forgettable.
Thor 2 wasn't the best either. I would have to agree. It was pretty boring. I say the best part about the movie would probably be when Loki cuts off Thor's hand.
Okay.
I did not expect that in the movie. And then they showed that it was just a prank, and I was like, oh, okay.
It's just so pointless.
We'll move on to my...
Yeah, we'll just forget that one even happened.
Yeah, there's not too much about that one I had to say about. So this is going on to my second one, and there's not much to say about this movie either. We will be fast about this one, but my second one is The Marvels. I don't really have to say much because everyone kind of dislikes this movie.
Yeah.
And there's this, don't get me wrong, I liked the relationship between all of them. I felt like it was a good relationship. But the singing, the story, like the antagonist, like everything was forgettable. And I think where Marvel messed up was this was at the time when they were trying to push girl power. And I have nothing wrong with that. You can make some really good movies with leading woman characters. Like Black Widow is the first girl leading character in Marvel. I feel like that's a good way to represent them in a movie. And in the Marvels, it was too goofy and it was just forgettable.
Who was that villain? And she like had like no motive the whole fucking movie.
To be honest, like it was so forgettable that I forgot who the antagonist. I think it was she did steal the hammer for you got me thinking now, goddamn.
I'm sorry, man. These are the questions that people are gonna say in the comments, so it's like we gotta be ahead of the curve.
You right.
That's right, Darwin.
So yeah, the story was Darwin getting the weapon that Ronan used in the Guardians of the Galaxy to reform her planet or something like that. The story was all over the place and it was just boring. Like I said, I liked the relationship between the three girls. That was probably the best part about the movie, but everything else was just terrible. I don't have any more to say about that movie.
Yeah, can I skip my input on this one?
Yeah.
I don't like that movie, man. That one's horrible too, man. I mean, we got some good picks in here, I'm not gonna lie. We'll just move on. This one is gonna be even fucking worse. I swear to God. You're gonna probably cringe when I say this, but my number 2 slot is Eternals.
You know, surprisingly, I don't have that on my list. I think that was better.
No way.
I think that was better than the movies I put on my list.
Oh my God.
Okay, let me tell you why.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't think it was terrible because the speedster, like, I love how they showed her powers. Way better than how they show the powers in any Flash adaptation.
Okay, yeah, that's not a very high bar.
Okay, yeah, but like you gotta admit her speed scenes in the movie were incredible.
Yes,
like
that. No, they were really good.
It was dope. How they portrayed all the powers in the movies were good. Don't get me wrong, the story isn't that great, but I feel like it was a better movie than the movies that I'm telling you on my list.
Do you think it was a better like Marvel movie or a better movie overall? Because a lot of my criticism just comes from it like at a movie angle. I felt like the cast was just overblown. There was 10 heroes introduced at one time, so there wasn't really any time, and it's not enough to get emotionally invested in any of them. I feel like the movie was just exposition the movie, you know?
Yeah, so how I rate my movies is like how much enjoyment I had watching them. Did it keep me entertained or was I just bored? So for Eternals, I liked it because of how they showcased their powers. I felt like it was pretty good for the most part. And I am a big fan of Game of Thrones, and they had 2 of my boys in there. Jon Snow and Robb Stark, man. They had 2 of my boys in there.
Okay, fair enough. You know, I haven't seen Eternals in probably like 3 years now. I remembered like I watched it and I was like, dude, I don't remember anything about this movie. I gotta watch it again. And it was just as bad the second time. The concept was cool, man. I just feel like it was just so much at once. So much exposition, so many new characters just thrown at us. None of it stuck for me. So for me, that made it a bad movie. I hate that movie. I will never watch it again.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think most people can't connect to it because a lot of people don't know who they are in the comics.
Yeah.
I guess what pisses people off the most was the end credit scene where it had Blade walking in.
Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah, like the end credit scene had the voice of Blade walking in.
Oh my God, what a letdown.
Yeah, now they probably won't have a Blade movie. So it was like, it was washed away.
Oh my God. Harry Styles was in that fucking movie.
Yes, he played Thanos' brother.
That's right. Okay, that movie sucked. I'm sorry, dude. I can't. I mean, do you have anything more to say about it? Because my next one is a killer. You're gonna, if we, you know what? Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if we have the same number 1. It's gonna be close. Either way, I think it's adjacent to each other.
Yeah, I think you know my number 1 because I think
I do. Yeah.
I think a lot of people have to agree that this has to be the worst Marvel movie ever. With that said, my number 1 is Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes, dude, we got the same one. That's so fun.
What a trashy movie! Like, I did not,
dude.
Like, that is. That is like the worst movie I have ever seen. Like, I remember sitting there in the theater and was like, wow, like, I can't believe Marvel actually made this movie. I love when Thor is serious, like Thor number 1 and the way that he was portrayed in Infinity War.
Yup.
Thor Ragnarok was okay, but Thor Love and Thunder, the humor was off the charts. Like, it was terrible humor. And the sad thing about the movie was, for the most part, the visual effects looked pretty damn good, except for
Axel.
Yeah, except for the floating head.
Yeah, Axel, bro. Now, I don't know if you know this, but they actually re-edited that scene in the streaming cut. It looked significantly worse in theaters, bro.
Yeah.
It was bad.
It was terrible. And then not only that,
Gore.
It
was the biggest letdown for me, dude. I thought we were gonna finally get that introduction to Noel and see like that Lovecraftian symbiote horror that exists in the Marvel universe. But no, they just threw it completely out the window. They didn't even have Null in the movie at all. They completely cut him out. Yet they showed like the symbiote spider monsters later anyway. They didn't even explain any of that. To me, it was just a fat letdown.
Like you said, Gore, super badass character in the comic books. Like, you would think he would be fucking killing gods left and right.
Well, yeah, they call him the God Butcher for no reason, and then they just exposition him.
Not only that, they have such a great actor playing him.
Wasted potential.
Wasted potential. Like, if you look at the first art pick of Gore the God Butcher, was exactly straight out of the comics. But they didn't want to use it because they wanted to show Christian Bale's face. I could understand that because he'll probably sell the tickets, but all you need is his voice.
You know, I will say that that is like probably the only other kind of redeeming quality was Christian Bale, but Christian Bale's honestly just a G. Anybody that he plays, he just does a fantastic job with. But yeah, they called him Gore the God Butcher, but we didn't see him actually kill any gods, I don't think, did we? Either way, he had no buildup. They were just like, oh, this guy's killed like 100 gods. And then they just go kill him. Like that's the whole movie.
Yeah, no buildup for him at all. He killed the god that he worshipped, and that was the only god that he killed throughout the whole movie. What upset me the most was that I'm a person for Greek mythology, and the way they treated Zeus and all the gods was just a kick in the balls.
Was it he was in front of Zeus and he like snaps his clothes off and then Thor's just naked for no fucking reason? It felt like a whole parody just the whole time.
Yeah, and the worst part was giving Thor tattoos.
Dude, I forgot about that. I honestly am really pissed that either of us had this on the list because I wanted to forget this movie.
I don't think Marvel could make a worse movie than Thor Love and Thunder. And if they do, Marvel should just hang it up.
I agree, dude.
The only movie that's worse than that has to do with Marvel character is that Madam Web movie.
I've been saving myself. I'm still a virgin to that.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's one of those movies you don't want to watch. Like, you don't need to watch it.
We'll save that for another video, though. Maybe we could do top worst Marvel movies in general and include, like, the Sonyverse. The Sonyverse is pretty bad. Yeah. I've watched Morbius twice, and I fell asleep both times.
Yeah, the Sony universe is just terrible. They're gonna reboot it, but is it gonna be better? I don't think so.
They're probably still gonna have the same people in charge, so it's never gonna change. But yeah, Love and Thunder, not only is it just a bad MCU movie, I think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in general. Wakiko Haititi, is that his name? Just hang it up, dude. You're done.
I'm glad that we had the same number one, because
I know.
If you had a different number one, then I don't know what you're thinking. Those are my 5 picks of the worst Marvel movies. What else do you have to say about the topic?
I want to make another video now where we talk about like Marvel movies as a whole, because there are some real big stinkers outside of the MCU that deserve more hate than they've already gotten. So yeah, that'll have to be another video.
Yeah, we could make so much more videos about Marvel or DC. Just let us know what you guys want to see in the future.
Yeah, no, definitely let us know down below if there's anything that we missed. What are your guys' least favorite Marvel movies or MCU movies? And yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything for me.
Yep, same here.
Thank you guys so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.